Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Snort, snort, snort.
Kogan.
Drip, snort, snort.
I got the drip. Go.
And then last night, it was the premiere of my year-end series, the top 20 most disappointing playthroughs of 2024. And the truth is, a lot of people were shocked. I don't know why. It's almost like people weren't paying attention in 2024 or something. But, you know, the trend last year was basically, I can't really play RPGs these days. Every RPG that I've tried, whether it was a good one or a bad one, because there is a combination of the game not being very good versus the game being great, but still not being able to hold attendance and support, right? And so, yeah, like some of the stuff on there was cool because you got to see some of the games that sadly just weren't that good. But then there was games that I actually really liked, but it was disappointing because I couldn't get people to come back to engage and support with the content. Cases in point, Multiverses, Marvel Rivals, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Metaphor, just to name a few of the games that I feel were good, but I couldn't get them to click with the audience, right? Now, the thing is, it's not like I couldn't get anything to click with an audience. There's been tons of games that I've played that worked really well. Pretty much any Soulsborne or Souls-like I played in 2024 worked perfectly. Whether it was actually Elden Ring and its DLC, whether it was another Crab's Treasure, you know, those games worked. I mean, even the Bloodborne run on PS5 Pro did well, right? Fighting games, they still managed to do pretty well. Whether it's me returning to Street Fighter 6 or playing some classics like the Marvel Collection, it does good. Even the month and a half that I did of Tekken 8, you know, people liked. You know, anything that's pretty much action-based or a hot new release, and even this year, some good indie games, right? That they all resonated and they clicked. It just seemed the running pattern was these kind of multiplayer games where, for whatever reason, it's not the genres that you guys are used to. Like Multiverses is more kind of an arena party style, almost Smash Brothers like fighting game, while Marvel Rivals plays like Overwatch. And for some reason, people just didn't really want to watch those more than a couple streams. Same thing with these RPGs. You know, RPG overload was a major thing in 2024. And I'm sorry to say, I can't make people show up, engage, and support with certain kinds of games. I do my best to make them entertaining. You know, when you're doing an RPG and you realize there's going to be a big dungeon you're grinding in, and it's going to be kind of repetitive, have some fun, casual conversation, right? Open it up. Let's talk. But what ends up happening is some people just get turned off. They don't want to show up to the RPG streams. Oh, that's a JRPG. Yeah, it's going to be boring. And then they just write it off. It's a shame because over the years, as you know, I feel like some of the best playthroughs I've ever done were more social experiences, more so than they were gameplay-centered experiences. You know, Dragon Quest XI, that's a game that basically was two entire different plots. And it worked. It was actually one of my more successful playthroughs, but it was because we had a group of maybe, I'm not even kidding, probably about 50 people who really liked RPGs and kept showing up. And we had some really awesome nights just chatting it up, having a good time, talking about life and other things while enjoying an RPG. It wasn't always about just the game. I just wish that more people would be like that. They would come and hang out. Instead of it always being about the game, it would be more about just hang out with us and have a good time. Maybe it's not even a game you like, but you can still have fun conversation, right? But no lie, there were some games this year that I said, let's just turn off the game and do a Q&A. And the Q&A segment of me just talking with you guys would actually bring in more viewers, engagement, and support than me playing the game. And that's sad because I feel like in the past that wasn't the case. That there were times when I could play whatever I wanted and people would just show up and hang out. And that's just not the case anymore. It could be many different factors, you know, but the fact is people do like me and my content, but they don't show up for certain things. And I can't change that. All I can do is try to convince people to give it a shot. But if they won't, if they're kind of prejudiced against it, which I really, be honest, I think they are. I think that there are people who like JRPGs. They're just not my viewers anymore. Those people have moved on and gone to other communities and stuff that focus solely on that, which I'm not going to do that. I'm a variety creator. I think, honestly, it was Baldur's Gate 3 that tipped the scales there because Baldur's Gate 3 was a 140-hour playthrough. It took 3 to 4 months to beat, and I think some people just lost their patience. They didn't want to stick around because they weren't interested in RPGs, And I played it for so long, they were like, screw this. And then every other RPG that I played after kind of became the brunt of that anger, that Phil spent 3 to 4 months playing this instead of other games, and we're upset because we wanted to see him play other games. You know, and that's what I said. I really feel like Baldur's Gate 3 is probably going to be the last insanely long RPG I ever play. Like, it just doesn't fit my style of content. If I was the kind of person who would play the same game for 3 to 4 weeks in a row and not change games, then we could play a Baldur's Gate 3. But that's just not me. You know, I have an audience that likes the fact that I play variety, right? So anyway, in regards to this, I urge you, watch the countdown from last night. I would love to have some discussion around it. Of course, I just love how you get people who, they're so toxic and negative, right? Instead of treating this as an opportunity for us to have like constructive conversation, instead they come, well, it's all your fault because you're a piece of shit and you suck and your content sucks. Okay, so you're saying nothing. You're an idiot. If you don't like me, then you're never going to like me. It doesn't matter if I'm playing a fighting game, if I'm playing a Soulsborne game, if I'm playing a JRPG. If you don't like me, you don't like me, right? Like, so your opinion is invalid because it's not who I'm looking to try to listen to help and improve. Telling me I suck doesn't help the content, all right? Telling me how to improve would help the content. But that's the funny part. Everyone wants to say, it's your fault. Okay, so what did I do wrong when I played JRPGs? How can I be better? No one has the answer. So then you don't actually have a valid opinion. You don't. Your valid opinion is, okay, I didn't like it, and here's why, and here's what you can improve. That's constructive criticism. That's a valid opinion, not just, you suck. And of course, the other thing is people who are upset because they want, oh, Rare Tricks, you gifted a sub. I'll check in a second. Thank you for telling me. Again, for some reason, the pop-ups on Kick aren't very good, so I keep missing them. Please always tell me when you contribute, and I swear I'll shout that out in a second. The other thing is, you know, in regards to, you know, these playthroughs that fail, or not necessarily fail, but people won't engage with them. So then I said, in 2024, by far, this was the year that I took control of my content. And I said, listen, if people aren't going to show up, they're not going to engage, and they're not going to support a certain playthrough, I'm going to move on. We have many, many options of things to do. It's not like I have a lack of options or content. In fact, I have an overabundance of things to do. So if we try something and it doesn't work, we're not committed to having to do it. We'll go to something else. So now, of course, these people turned it into another negative meme. Oh, Phil only plays games for money and then he wage quits, right? Ladies and gentlemen, can I ask you a question? Can you name me a single business, successful business on planet Earth that they try something, whether they're creating a product or they're doing a service or whatever it is that they produce, the customers don't like it, but just on principle, they decide to keep doing it anyway? Does that sound like smart business? Does that sound like something an intelligent business would do to stay afloat? Let's just keep doing the thing that no one wants and is failing. No, right? Like, could you think of any business that would do that? No. But because I'm doing it, it's not good, right? I listen to the feedback of my audience. If they say, listen, we don't want to see Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, move on and do other stuff. Okay, so I stop playing. He quit. He's a quitter. He only plays for money. I'm running a business. This is not Phil is a millionaire because I won the lotto or I have rich parents or something. You know what I mean? And streaming is my hobby. No, that's not the case. It's my job. It's what I do to support my family. It's what I do to maintain a living, to pay for the mortgage on this house, to keep this set going, to keep the, you know what I mean? I need to be successful. It just doesn't make sense. When you criticize me like that, it doesn't make any sense at all. It's called moving the goalpost, right? So previously, if I had played a game and it wasn't working, but I stuck to it, for example, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, that absolutely happened. People were saying we don't like it, do other stuff. And I said, well, listen, I like it. I'm going to keep playing it. I played it to the end. I got nothing but complaints from mainstream viewers the entire playthrough. They're like, move on, move on, move on. No, I'm going to stick to my guns and beat it. So I beat it. I get told I've done the wrong thing. You really screwed up. You should have been doing other stuff. You should have dropped the game. So then when the next game comes along and the same thing happens and I get the same feedback, okay, I'll listen to you. I'm going to drop the playthrough. You're doing the wrong thing, Phil. You should have stuck with it. Wait, what? Yeah, you wage quit that game. What's wrong with you? Huh? See? So there doesn't matter what I do at all. I'm always in the wrong. Okay. That's why when I get dumb feedback like that, I just don't listen anymore, because there is a difference between, again, constructive versus destructive. I want to help you. Here's how to improve versus you're just always in the wrong no matter what. I've totally stopped paying attention to the latter, and I'm very appreciative of the former. The reason that I'm still here today is because I'm getting positive, constructive criticism from you guys. So thank you to those of you who are trying to help, who are sharing your thoughts and actually giving me some constructive stuff. Okay, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Now, in regards to this moving forward, we're going to have to take a look at various different games and see what works and what doesn't. You know, I think one thing that I've been really enjoyed doing in the last couple of months is testing the waters with indie games and stuff like that, and just throwing them into the schedule every once in a while. Balatro, that's a game that I would have never played, but because I gave it a shot, it worked for a couple of streams. I don't have to play it all the time, but interjected every once in a while for variety, right? The coin game, same thing. And now Killer Frequency, where I played it last week, had a good time with it. We enjoyed the stream. I'll just throw it in every once in a while. Don't have to do it all the time, but it's good for variety. I like that. I like that flexibility. And I'm glad that I'm doing stuff like that now. And I think that seeing that you guys have suggested, you know, these kind of games, hey, try them every once in a while. This has been a great new thing for the schedule and for the gameplay we're doing. And I really like that. And I want to keep doing that. If there's other indie games and things that I'm missing out on that you guys think would be great for me to try, please continue to suggest them. Please continue to remind me of them. I would like to try those out and throw them into the schedule when I get the availability for that. So, thank you for your honesty, for those who actually care. For all of the white noise of the idiots who just say everything I do is wrong and it's all my fault. Yeah, I'm not paying attention to you. You're just a bunch of fucking whiny bitches that no one cares about, and nothing you say is ever going to help me. So I'm just going to ignore the nonsense, okay? So anyway, enjoy the most disappointing playthroughs of 2024 Countdown from last night. I hope you'll enjoy it. It's 2 parts, 2 hours. Took 2 hours to get through, okay? So it was great. Yesterday was great. 3 goals hit. We are on pace to do the marathon as early as Wednesday. If we can hit 2 more goals between today and tomorrow, we're definitely doing this marathon on Wednesday. Now,
I got the drip going. 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 It's like a faucet that's dripping. You can't make it stop. So what do you want me to do? Have a mute button that every second I'm tapping the mute button just in case I'm gonna have to clear? Like, this is what I mean, these dumb kids. This is what it is. It's dumb kids.